Guys, today we're going to do an install. I'm going to show you guys how to do it for all the bank stuff for 2017 L5P Duramax. We got the ram air intake, the Banks 4-inch monster exhaust, the Derringer tuner with the idash data monster, also a pillar pod with the color match paint for the interior, which I'm a little skeptical of, but we're going to go ahead and start with that and see how the color actually turns out. Seems kind of cheap, honestly. Kind of thin. And the texture that's on it actually isn't going to match the texture that the factory one is in the truck. So, I don't know, I guess we'll see what it looks like after we get some paint on it. The color match paint that goes with it is this, the SEM Color Coat 15143 Sandstone, which is the Cocoa Dune interior. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple light coats because I don't want to end up getting a run in it. So try to make it look the best. Kind of let that flash dry, and then we'll put another one on and see if we can get it to match the interior color that we hope it will. Second coat. So it's actually looking pretty good. I think with one or two more coats, we might be at the color we want it to be. But once it dries, and I get the two more coats on there, we'll hold it up on the inside and see if it actually matches. So while we're waiting on the pillar pod that we just painted to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off the intake so we can put the monster intake on there. And pretty much all you're gonna need is a straight slot screwdriver. Just unplug some of the electrical connections and good to go. I lied. There's a nut too. So there's one little bolt that holds the silencer on. It's right here, a little 13mm. And my battery's almost dead. So once that's off, you can remove this, set it out of the way. And go ahead and put your nut back on here. Slides out. Now this sensor that's on here, you will need to take it out and put it in the new intake. So don't just throw it away. And so the bottom side of this air box, the base of it, is actually just pushed in with little plastic pop-ins that go into a rubber grommet. So you can just pull up on it and it'll pop. Just like that. And you can take the whole thing out of there and replace that with a nice Banks one. That's where that air sensor goes. That's on your old one. After that goes the engine. And here's the air box. Air filter is inside already. Some sweet horsepower stickers. And looks like a rubber gasket seal for where the hood goes in. And then some hose clamps to put everything together with. You also have to remove the stock intake tray that's down here. With this one's held in with 4 10mm bolts, and you'll actually use these bolts to reattach the new intake itself. Okay? It'll take some manipulating to get this to go in there. It's not too bad though. Two pair of side cuts. The extra off. So after I did that first one, I was looking back at the instructions to this one, and I said the short one goes here and the long one goes here. Well, both of mine were the same size, so that's why I had to trim this one, because I had two of the long ones. Which was good, better than having two short ones, because this one actually fit perfect without even having to trim it. So once you get the seals on there, you go ahead and finagle this down in there. It's a little tight, but it goes. And then the 4 bolts that you took out of the factory airbox mounting plate, you use them to bolt this down. Solid. So now you're going to want to take your air sensor out of the factory airbox lid, which is a T20 Torx. And when you go to put this in your new one, you don't really have to worry about getting it the wrong way, because the bolt holes only line up one way. They line up there. If you try to put it in the other way, it'll go in, but you can see the bolt holes aren't lined up right. Go ahead and attach the intake horn to the filter while it's still out of the truck. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now you're ready to attach the intake horn to the motor. And there we go. The intake is on. So we got the Derringer all unboxed here. Just kind of reading through their instructions for it. And I'm gonna route this wire here, the starter cable, which is this one. This side here has to go in the cab. So the best way to do that is go through the main wire harness grommet because it's large enough. And got a coat hanger that I rounded the edge off so I wouldn't have to worry about it scraping any wires or causing any issues like that. So I poked it right through there. I'm going to go ahead and make that hole there a little bit bigger because I checked on the inside and you can see it. It's really hard to see on the inside. It's really tight, so it'd be really hard to film it anyway. But if you lay on your back, get your head up in there, you can see that wire sticking out. So it's enough that you can get up in there with a pair of pliers and grab it. So here's the painted pillar now. And it's actually, it's kind of close. It's kind of hard to tell with the light being different. The texture's obviously different. The color's pretty close though. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that pillar off and at least put this one in there and see what it looks like once it's in. So take this off. These two little covers pop off here. There's going to be a couple bolts behind them. And then it'll snap out after that. So, okay. So I got the cables ran up through here. What I did was I took this off and just fished a wire down in there and then pulled them both up through there so that they would come right back behind here and I could get them to come out through here. Now, since my idash fits really tight in there, I don't need to put the idash in first. I can put it in last because it fits really snug in there. So I can plug those in now, push this in, and this will be done up here. And then I'll just have to take this extra cord for the OBD2 port and I'll just wrap it up and zip tie it up under the dash out of the way. But this actually doesn't fit too bad. Like I said, the color is a little off compared to, it's close, but I don't have any other mount for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But it seals up really good right there with the weather strip, and then on the side of the window too, it looks really nice. It doesn't look goofy from the outside or anything. Down there by the speaker, it seals really good. It's no gaps or any crazy looking stuff. You can see it does have like a little warp in right here. I don't know if I might be able to adjust this around a little bit and change that. I'm not sure. But once I get this in, then I'll go under the hood and it's just plug and play. You just unplug the few sensors for the wiring harness and plug the harness for this Derringer right in its place, and I'll go to that here in a few. So the location of the T-map and the L5P are right here and right here. So this harness, essentially, you unplug those and it just goes in line between them. This one right here. Just plugs in like that. That one goes on that side. And same with this side. And then we're just gonna make this all nice and pretty and zip tie these so they don't look like they're out of place. Alright, so I got the wires ran, zip tied them along here, ran down over here, up, and I actually kind of tucked everything back behind there so it's not really out in the open. You don't really see it hanging out. So it's right back in there, and I zip tied it to one of these so it's not just banging around or anything. I think it looks pretty good. Alright, so guys, I forgot to film this. I actually came over to a buddy's shop with a lift because there was no way that I was going to cut that factory exhaust one time and get it to come out from around this axle. And I didn't want to hack it all up, so just came over here so I could cut it one time and take it all out. The factory bungs had to heat those up because these were not coming out without some heat to them. So heat both of these up, and they came out pretty easy. And the factory hanger, you measure 7 inches off Depends on which exhaust you have. They have pictures so you can figure out which one that you've got, but just hacked it off about right there and slides on it. It went together really nice. The tailpipe though is a little long because I'm gonna put the tip on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this back about 10 inches and then put the tailpipe on there and good to go.